When I heard our pastor was doing a series on Nehemiah, my initial thought was, what would a 10-year-old boy growing up in Nehemiah's time think when he saw all these people out rebuilding the wall? His mom and dad, or his dad helping to rebuild the wall. Because I was 10 years old when I witnessed our church burning.
And when we got here, the fireman was still putting out some hot spots in the sanctuary. Of course, the roof had been completely burned, and they were in the sanctuary fighting the fire that was left there. And my main thought was, gosh, the beautiful stained glass windows were all gone. They had been blown out by the heat in the sanctuary. The tremendous organ that we had there was gone. Organ chambers were gone. Everything was gone. And we had some tears in our eyes too as we saw that church burn, because I'd been here since I was 5 years old. And then to see the place you love so dearly, where you got married, where our parents were buried, to see it gone.
We stood across the street in the old Pure gas station lot. And as a 10-year-old, I guess the thing I remember the most is, wow, I've never seen a fire this big before, and all the fire trucks and everything going on. And then after a while, I felt really sad, because something that meant a lot to my life, only as a 10-year-old, was there just totally destroyed. But I do remember a group of people working together to try to build a house of worship that would glorify God.
We stayed together as a church congregation, and to think that what would have happened to the church if the church hadn't burned. We couldn't have grown like we've grown today, and the church wouldn't be the same today, because we would not wanted to tear down the old sanctuary and rebuild. We'd probably gone somewhere else to rebuild. But as I think back on it, all happened. When it happened, it was a blessing in disguise for First Baptist Church of Spartanburg.
Through the years, my dad has taught me a number of principles, and one is to always place your faith and trust in God. Another is to support your church. Always be a part of your church and do what you can to help your church. And I guess as a 10-year-old, I never really understood what I was going through at the time. But I can look back now and see through the faces of people that were involved in rebuilding our sanctuary, they were teaching me principles that later on in life I would come to understand. Lifelong principles. I've been a part of this church now for 62 years. And I love this church. I love the unity in this church. I love the vision of this church. And I want my children and my grandchildren to be able to enjoy the same principles and to understand the same principles that my dad has taught me down through the years.